Up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic this morning. We got some more news pumping up the markets today. So good start for the bulls, good start for the long term. Let's go. PPI numbers, which I don't think that, I mean, again, they were not great numbers, but I think what's key in those numbers is the month over month. So month over month did come in lighter than expected. So on that basis, yeah, people are liking it. We are getting a little bit of an additional decent little move out in the markets. Let me actually share the other screen instead of this one. Let's do trading view. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. All right, we should be good with this one. Let's go to SPY. And on my end, let me just make the screen quite a bit bigger. Looks good. Awesome. Bill says, congrats on the funded account. Appreciate it, Bill. What has happened? We got Crystal in the house. Michael Holt, good morning. Who's boys and girls? Are you asking? Is that a survey, Michael Holt? I mean, I can't, it's 2022. I cannot even conduct that survey because you could identify as anything. There'd be so many categories. Good morning. We got Brian in the house. We got Chris J. Linder. Daniel's in the house. Good morning. Joe says, great morning. Great indeed. It doesn't matter what the market does. It goes up and down. It doesn't matter. Whew, we could just all be having a great day out there. So two things. Let's do this real quick. Just out of some suspicion to figure out where this market wants to go. Number one, obviously, big day yesterday. Huge gap up, very small, if any, almost retracement. I usually do this backwards. I did it correctly first. We are gapping right into, yep, my suspicion was correct there. We are gapping right into the 618. So we got the 618. Again, these numbers that I drew on the fib, they're not to the penny. They are off slightly. If there was ever a time to sell because we're still in a bearish market, I think we're looking at it this morning. So let's see. This is going to be a very, very key day in the overall market. I think personally, right into the zone is the 618 retrace of the entire downtrend move. Wave count wise on the downtrend for the SPY, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably ABC, something like that. Probably a little tighter. Maybe this is probably the 5. This is the 3, 2, 1, something like that, potentially. Either way, we got a clear bounce. If that is the wave 5, this was probably the ABC. This is probably maybe starting wave 1, 2, 3. We get a bounce here for double top 5, something potentially. Not sure. But what I do know is this area right here, where we are opening after 2 big gaps. Yesterday was a gap and go. Today should be a bigger retest. So today should be a retest gap. I would expect a much bigger sell-off at least, especially just opening into that 618 retracement zone. By the way, it doesn't mean, I mean, potentially this is the bottom. Who knows? Just because we're at a 618, even if we do retrace, I mean, we could see consolidation. We could get a bounce, and then we make new highs, something like that. But this would be a decent spot for some of those profitable bulls to take some profits, and also the bears to kind of clear house a little bit, start loading up some of those puts. Whether and also, I think everybody's well aware of the term buy when everybody's fearful, sell when everybody is pretty happy. I think everyone's pretty happy out there in the market. Everyone's pretty happy. We got four or five straight weeks of just nonstop buying. I think people are starting to be like, all right, it's not so bad. We're good. Maybe we're good. But we do have a gap up. It is a retest gap. I would expect that to retest a little bit further than yesterday. Good morning. We got Unfolding Dawn. We got Jennifer in the house on YouTube land. What is up, team? All right. Let's see. We got the Qs. So the Qs, again, good little gap up. Yesterday, at the close of yesterday, was the first official day we went into, we're back into bull territory, officially bull territory. I mean, we're also officially in a recession, but they changed the definition. So who knows? But I don't think this definition changed as of yet. We are 20% off of the bottom, which would put us into a bullish market. So technically on the Qs, we did get back into a bullish market. This is the 50% retracement. So we got up into there, we rejected, good gap above it. Qs might have a little bit more room. I mean, this is a key area for us, whether we touch exactly to the penny or not. But 332.89 would give us some level of a 618 retracement. We're gonna have to see how it does around there. So SPY is not quite there yet, but the Qs are. Enrico, what's up, buddy? We got Matt R. Is Elon selling more stocks today? Well, it's a planned sell, so it's a scheduled sell. So he's pretty much selling every day. Man, I got some watermelon today. Pretty fantastic. I feel so healthy. I don't even know if it's healthy for you. It definitely makes up for the 6 donuts I had this morning too. So it's pretty good. Let's look at the other stocks. We got Tesla. Tesla, let me flip it to, we'll zoom in on the daily, then we'll flip it over to 5 cups of coffee. Yeah. As long as you eat a watermelon after, you're good. It cancels out everything. All right. Let's see. Miss Donuts from PA. Oh, some of them are pretty decent. So we are obviously gapping. We're still hanging out above yesterday's VPOC, which is good. Not really a good strong gap up in any sense. We're actually inside yesterday's range, which is interesting. So the entire market's running wild. Tesla actually showing a little bit of continued weakness. And again, we saw some of the chips run yesterday. We saw in the video, we saw AMD just absolutely bull tear it up. Tesla did good. I mean, they started to make a little bit of progress, but it just did not have the same feel. Like overall, I think weakness is still there. And I think that comes with the shadowing of Elon Musk selling, like people know he's selling $6.9 billion. How excited would you be until he's already out of the position? And then maybe start to hop in. But we did see it pull, but we saw it run up, had a good move, right, as the entire market was turning, but didn't really break out the same way. And even today was still inside yesterday when the entire market is running. So it's very interesting to see, but we're not going to be able to play that 10 EMA wise. The video, which had an absolute monster run up yesterday, we're still stair stepping. I would be looking for first area of a pullback, because again, it is a retest gap. Let's watch for 181.66. And then past that, we're going to look for 180.70. So it does qualify. We should this morning, as opposed to yesterday, because yesterday was a gap and go, we should be able to play this one bullish today. Where yesterday we couldn't play that fade yesterday out of the gate because it was EMA is not matching up. We could play it bullish. It doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm going to be patient. I think we get some kind of a decent retest into the 181.66, the next level. And this is the level I'd prefer to hold for, somewhere around this 180.81. So we'll see if any of those come in for a retest. I'll even set a little alert. Probably my alerts is they would just pop off in the morning because they're higher. All right. We'll see. AMD. Tony says, I'm still short on DraftKings from yesterday, and we're still going up. Do you think we might fall at open on profit taking? I do. I do. Well, I'll look at DraftKings individually, but I do think we even saw it kind of yesterday. I mean, there were very small candles, very small pullback, but yesterday was technically a gap and go. Today is actually a retest gap, so I would expect a little bit deeper of a retest. And we also did see on SPY, we are at a major. The 618 is no joke. That should be a major resistance. And then, I mean, if we start breaking through and we get some closes today, I would just bail in that position probably. If Momo hasn't flipped yet for you. And that's me. Matt DeLong would say just wait for that to flip. It's either it comes back or it doesn't, and there's always other plays. So that's on you. Let me just see AMD real quick as well. I'm kind of suspect about this one, just eyeballing this. Because Matt DeLong would say if you are changing your plan every single time, AMD is right at that 618 as well from the hourly. I think we're definitely opening into a little bit of resistance. We have a VPOC from over here. I'm going to be very careful in bullish directions. It is still a retest gap, though, so this would make sense. We get rejected right around here. We play a fade. That would give you $1.25 from this exact price down to, I mean, I would imagine the retest comes into about 98.40, so that gives you a little extra room, another roughly 65 cents. So what I think happens, and we'll see how we're going to play it because I really don't know yet. I just think I don't know if this is going to be we get rejected here. This is what I think. I think at least worst case we get rejected here. I'd be kind of shocked if we start closing and we start moving higher immediately. But I think we get rejected. Oops. Got my thinkorswim came up instead. So my thought process is this is where we get rejected. We'll probably fade. Let me just draw one new fib out here. Actually, I probably don't even have to. Just probably something into here. And then this is going to be a spot that decides higher lows. And then I think we have a massive breakout. Or if this does not do higher lows, then obviously we're either coming here. And if we break, then I think we're just really pulling back hard from this point. So I think three potentials are on the table. Disney had earnings. Yep. So Disney beat. I think their streaming was still down 30%, something like that, but 36%. I don't know if it was clientele, but maybe I think revenue, they lost 36% on streaming, something in that range. Which again, even though they have the brand behind them. Let's pull up Disney real quick. Because Disney should be an interesting gap. I think it is also a retest though. Let me double check that. Yeah. Massive hammer. So good little hammer on the Diz. But yeah, and I thought about this too yesterday. I just never pulled the trigger. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago, I was like, man, I should probably get some Disney positions while it's still low too, just in case the entire market comes back. And then I completely forgot I had any thought process whatsoever. Didn't actually buy anything. So, but yeah, good gap. It is actually, because the candle is red, technically this is a gap and go. In a weird way, that's a gap and go. I would almost classify this thing as more of a retest. The first hour of the day was selling. Everything since that was people buying and getting into position. So I think you are still going to have some level of pullback. Probably look for somewhere in the 119.45 zone. See if that one wants to hold, and then we'll see if we can get a flip to go continue bullish. But I don't think we're trapping many people. DKNG. I wouldn't. It sounds to me, Tony. So your question is, do I exit my short position on DraftKings at open, or because we are at new highs, we roll over and go short short again today? It sounds to me like you're panicking, Tony. Just being honest here. And anytime I have the panic mode, I don't do anything at open. I let the market play out. Very tough to do because the market is going to open. There's going to be emotions on the table, but you're going to be reacting out of emotion instead of a plan, right? So if, again, how to squash the emotion is, what is the plan at the beginning of your trade? At the very beginning of the trade, when you bought the shares, and I know you got it off of Momo, but when you bought the shares, was your initial plan, I'm sticking with the Momo? When that signal triggers, that's when I sell. If it is, follow that plan, because that emotion that you have right now of, man, if this thing open, I mean, obviously it's going to, like, most of the time, the very first opening penny print in the market is both neither the high or the low of the day. Think about that. Usually that very first print, it's going to go higher, it's going to go lower. But in worst case, you're going to have time to assess the position, right? No, Tony's in on shares. So I would either, make sure you map it out when you buy something. Write down your plan if it's not something that you're doing constantly. And if you're saying, hey, I'm buying this on the Momo, I'm going to follow the indicators, then just follow the indicators. Otherwise, you're going to sell too soon, or you're going to sell at a loss too soon, or you're going to sell at for a win too quickly, right? Because then on the other hand, you're going to have that Momo that runs, and you're like, okay, I should take profit. I should take profit. If the plan is to stick to the Momo, stick to the Momo. If you have a hard stop on a position, and also make sure that you're in that position correctly. So when Matt does the Momo, he's not doing it off an R, he's doing it off of a position size, right? So it should be balanced to your portfolio so that any one loss does not blow up an account, right? And if those are all correct, then follow the plan. If not, you might have to peel some shares or something like that. My plan is Momo 100%. I just missed the reversal signal. Well, then I would get out. if the signal reverse and told you to get out and you're still in, and you in TradingView, you can also set your alerts to go off with the Momo. Yep, Momo is spend based, correct. All right, awesome. So we do have DraftKings. It is gapping a little bit. Again, this is also a retest gap too, so I wouldn't be too concerned there, Tones McGones. I would say you probably don't have to sell right at open. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to manage your money specifically for you, but based off of previous history of what the stock market does, I would expect some kind of a pullback to some extent. This is a retest gap, meaning that if everything works well, this one should retest, right? So I'll put that out there. But again, I'm not. I don't want to say definitely sell and then, you know, it drops all the way to $10 and you're like, man. But it's a retest gap. Let's go with that. Let me go to Amazon real quick. So I play Momo with a stop for my back testing. It ends up being more profitable with a stop, but do your own back testing and see what works best for you. Yeah, I've played it with the stop. I've had some ones that because of the stop I would have lost, but then there's because of the stop I've had ones that I got out way before the signal. So could go either way. All right, we got Amazon. So Amazon, a little bit of a gap up. Amazon does look a little bit different today. This is actually a gap and go, just not clearing the highs of yesterday. So that's going to be the only downfall. Because I think the market's at some type of a decent resistance, I'd probably still say, let's be patient. Well, we kind of have to be patient because it's still not gapping outside of yesterday's day. All right. And then one more, we'll take a look at Delta. Delta looks like a pretty snazzy gap and go. Is this the best gap of the day? Dang it. I hate Delta. I can't stand them. My God, that does look like the best gap I've seen out of the 6. The only thing I would say with this gap is we're starting to push into a little resistance. So we do have a little bit of a long-term resistance. It definitely has some room to move. Doesn't look. It is gapping outside of yesterday's range. Let me just do this real quick. We still got a little bit of room up to the 50% retrace, so we're not quite there yet. That's 35.24. Oh yeah. All right, we'll keep it on the list. We will keep it on the list. Corey says the 100 EMA. You guys are all on my team. I'm trying to find reasons not to trade it because I don't know. I just don't work well with Delta. Just either doesn't move quick enough or moves way too quick. But it's usually when it's way too quick, it's never in my direction. So I'm trying to figure it out. Bros has a good gap, yeah, for sure. Nice little gap on Bros. Still stair stepping up. Looks good. Clearing some decent pivots. Starting to get into a little bit of resistance. A little bit of this longer term chop from all the way back there. But otherwise, and technically it's a retest gap with a big retest move. This one probably fades. I think this one fades. We'll see. I'll be interested. I would be looking for more of a drop on this one, but it is a fairly nice gap. Fairly nice. APP. Is it APP or is it apps? APP. This one's still technically. Yeah, that would be a bearish gap and go. It's almost clearing yesterday's range. Looks like we're in a much longer term chop. So my question is, if this thing was gapping down below some of that chop, I think this thing has plenty of room, obviously, to drop further. But we are gapping down. It is a bearish gap and go, but we're still kind of just stuck in this range. That's the only thing I don't love too much on that one. We're counting on your call in the bottom of Tesla to go up. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it was the bottom for the day. What else do you want from me? That's the bottom forever on Tesla. Yeah, that was pretty sick. And then I had NVIDIA pretty much spot on too. NVIDIA was the play yesterday, for sure. Give me some more watermelon real quick. So we got 6 more minutes until the market open. If you guys in the chat want to throw out any of the plays, any of the stocks you guys are watching, same thing, YouTube land. If you guys want to throw out any other additional tickers, symbols, emojis, I don't really care. INTC. Yeah, I think that one came before. So INTC. On the daily, we still have the 10 EMA above it. We still got a little bit of a distance. Again, just be careful of that. Be careful of the retest gap. So I wouldn't play this one bullish out of the gate. It is a good gap up, but it has a little bit of resistance above it. I just expect, I'm kind of expecting some kind of a drop. Again, doesn't have to be a big retest today. No, it doesn't have to. But yesterday was just massively bullish. Today is another gap up. I think today's retest on the market is going to be a lot more significant than it was yesterday. GME. GME. GameStop. Man, I can't wait for these guys to go bankrupt. Cannot wait. Let's see. $40.53. Just not really doing much of anything. Let me see if I can go into a. See if I can get into a hourly charts. The play has been bearish. Well, the shorter term trend is bearish, starting to break a little bit. That being said, I mean, we've gone on a recent massive move. So this looks like some kind of a wave 5 to me. Let's see. Let me zoom out and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a pretty big. That would be a pretty big 5. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. We get one more push higher, but right now the chart's not telling me we're pushing higher. Yeah, no, yeah, they did a stock split because that's what game. I mean, if I was GameStop, I would do a stock split too. Why would you not do a stock split? I'd be offering shares, and I think they did do that at one point. I think they did offer shares at one point. You guys want to look at Airbnb? Airbnb. Airbnb. So again, a little bit of a gap up. I believe this is a retest gap. Actually, no. Little gap and go on Airbnb. Okay. So a good little gap and go. Again, we still have a little bit of resistance. I've been watching this zone for a long time. 123.90. If this thing breaks, the next target is somewhere in this 130. Oh, I thought it was 131. It's 135.80. This is going to act as a very big resistance. I almost want to, and I don't really want to see it, but 2, I want to build out my position a little bit more on this one. What I would love to see is something like this come in, because on this dip, I'm definitely buying some more Airbnb. I'm hoping this turns into some kind of a head and shoulders. Again, this is just me predicting, and then we break, because this should be a very strong level to hold resistance wise. So we're into it right now. Again, probably up into, let me delete those lines. Probably up until like I can see 123.90 hitting today. Maybe it was slightly under 123.70, something like that. I could see that moving because it is a gap and go. It should get up there. I think it's going to act as a very strong resistance, especially if I'm expecting the market to pull back today. Again, longer term, I don't know if we're going to crash and burn in the market or not, but at least at open today, I do expect the market to be a little bit weaker. Just my thought process. I'm sure it's going to be the most bullish stock market you guys have ever seen at the open, while winning it. But let's pretend that I'm correct, and this thing is going to be facing a little bit of pressure, getting up into a strong resistance zone. And I would love to see a picture perfect head and shoulders on this one. That would be phenomenal. Shopify. This Shopster. What do we got? Like 30 seconds. This looks like a decent gap, clearing some pivots. It is technically still a retest gap, but we are definitely clearing out a lot of resistance. Target on this one for me would be about $45.49 for today. YouTubers, unfortunately, it is time. I got to let you go. It is so close to the market open. Man, it's going to be a wild day, but protect those gains. I think today is a day of protection. Don't leave your home without it. And I will catch all of you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. You can always check out reallifetrading.com for free educational materials, or you could always